Welcome to On Point Live. I'm Michael Horn with our producer Corey Marino. But the stars of our show, Jackie Slater and Vince Ferragamo, and I believe there's some pregame festivities down on the field on our podcast and radio show. Let's go down to the field. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in welcoming the Hall of Famer, 7-time Pro Bowler, 8-time NFC Offensive Lineman of the Year, Jackie Slater. Come on, let's really hear it for Jackie. Give him a good round of applause. Along with Jackie, thank you, everybody. Along with Jackie, we have a gentleman who, if he wasn't around, the Rams would have never been to their first Super Bowl. We're talking about the great fearless quarterback, played for the Los Angeles Rams, a few other teams, but we love him on the Rams. Took him to Super Bowl in 1979. We're talking about number 15. Please welcome Vince Ferragamo. Hi, Vince. Hey, Vince. How you doing, Vince? It's On Point Live. Apparently, the guy out there shouting to you, Vince.
Yeah, man, I tell you what.
Mike, that's quite a crowd there where Mike is.
A good crowd out there behind you guys, I'll tell you. All right, we got a lot to talk about today, guys. We're brought to you by HarmonyCheese.com. Don't forget, when you buy Harmony Cheese, when you check out, mention CRN Talk, you get 10% off your first order. Our website is onpointlive.net. On Instagram, we're on.point.live. How are you guys doing this week? Vince, you were talking about planting some strawberries.
Yeah, I did. I planted some strawberries in the yard, Mike. I hope they turn out as good as the tomatoes did.
That's kind of late to be planting strawberries. Mine are.
No, I know. It could be the wrong time, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, because I'm harvesting blackberries, picking a few blackberries off.
Yeah,
we already harvest our blackberries.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he plants his a little later. They get bigger.
Yeah. Hey, but Jackie, Mike, we went to baseball this weekend.
Yeah, what'd you do?
Oh, man, Long Beach, man. My grandson was involved in a tournament and made it to the finals. But, you know, the only team that's ever beaten this team that won it was our team last year. And this year we got beat by 1 run. But Javi Chenzo hit the home run over right field fence. 3 for 3. It was unbelievable.
Hey, did Vince ever tell you about the incentives that he gives little Harvey Chenzo?
No, what is it, Jackie?
Oh, he gave him $1,000 for the home run that he hit. He promised that if he ever struck anybody out, he was giving $500.
I'm joining.
And every time he gets to first base, he gets $250.
Come on.
He gets compound dividends, man. I'm telling you, he wants to invest his money.
Oh, that's management. You continue listening to this show, no telling what Vince will give you there. So get ready to email us onpoint@crntalk.com. It is On Point Live. Vince Ferragamo, Jackie Slater. Stay with us. We're going to be right back. Welcome back to On Point Live. You know, we're a radio show and a podcast and a video podcast. Subscribe to On Point Live with Vince and Jackie on YouTube. Get our podcast anywhere you get podcasts. Just search On Point Live. It'll come right up. Better yet, on your smartphone, just dial this number, pound 250, pound 250, hit send. When the call is answered, say, find my podcast. They'll ask you which one. You say On Point Live. They'll send a link right to your phone. I'm Michael Horn. Let's get into it right now. There's a name keeps popping up on my list here, gentlemen. Myles Garrett. Jackie Slater, what do you know about this guy?
That name keeps popping up on your list. It keeps popping up on everybody's list because this guy is special. The Rams, I like this, Vince. You know, we had this conversation all the time about, you know, being able to draft and trading for players and not developing players. You know, why work with developing some players if you can go out and get people and give you an opportunity to win right now? Myles Garrett, in my opinion, is the best pure pass rusher in all of the National Football League and perhaps has been over the last 2 years. And even you could probably claim that he was, a challenging Aaron Donald in some of the years that he has had. He is special. There's no doubt about it. And I have to take my hat off to Stan Kroenke for allowing Snead and Demoff and of course Sean McVay to make decisions for the Rams that gives them a great opportunity to get back to the Super Bowl. Why else?
Vince,
would you not be
I had to
excited?
take my hat off to Stan Kroenke when he bought Screaming Eagle, but this one could be topping it here with his Myles Garrett. Your thoughts here?
Well, it's a top-of-the-line wine. It's a top-of-the-line defensive end in
there's
football.
no doubt about
Okay,
it.
so You've taken the risk out of the game because you're getting one of the top players in the history of that position, okay, to rush the quarterback. He has led the NFL in sacks almost every year. Last year he did. He was Defensive Player of the Year. He was the whole team at Cleveland. But they let him go. It's another financial exercise, okay, by the Rams.
Yeah, no doubt.
As you said, Jackie, they're not in so much to the development of players, although they believe that they're sustainable because they do draft some of the young guys, so down the future they'll get to play, but they're also interested in win-now situation.
Right now.
So they want it right now.
And the fans, Vince, the fans deserve a winner. They have a stadium. Stan Kroenke built a $5 billion stadium. Like no other stadium in the world, right here in Los Angeles. And why not? Why not have him put his foot down on the leadership of the team that he has hired, Snead and all of these guys? Why not have him put his foot down and say, I want to win right now? I don't want to wait until tomorrow. I want the strategy to be win right now because I want that for the fans here in Los Angeles. Stan Kroenke, in my opinion, with some of the actions that he has taken over the last few years, going to end him right square dab in the middle of the Pro Football Hall of Fame as a superior leader.
Well, at his age, Jackie wants to win now. But let's look at it on the other side of the coin. Here, you look at the Cleveland Browns, okay? They weren't interested until a name popped up, and that was Jared Verse. Okay, here's
talented
a great young
talented
pass rusher.
No doubt about it.
All right,
no doubt about that.
Yeah, he was a little verbal at times, which we, had a little problem with, but he surely can rock the boat, and he can get his team riled up, and I think that's what they're looking for because Todd Monken is developing a team over there because now not only are they going to get this top quality player, they get a first rounder, a second rounder, a third rounder coming up. And what did they do, Jackie? They saved on having to pay Myles Garrett, so they have a little extra spending money that they can afford to get some other talent. So it really helps both teams. It's a win-win situation.
It's a win-win situation, but I'd much rather be sitting there winning Super Bowls as opposed to winning 2 or 3 years from now with the talent that they've acquired. There's no doubt in my mind about that.
You have a new coach versus a coach that's been proven already. And Todd Monken's first year as a head coach, so he has a lot to
he
to
needs
look
some young leaders.
But Sean McVay knows how to win.
In fact, that deal wasn't to be made until they threw Jared Verse on top of all of the picks that they gave him.
It's a big deal. Now, Vince, let's take a look at this now. The Rams, for this year, going to have Matthew Stafford, Myles Garrett, Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams. Can we do any better than that, Vince?
You get 4 leaders, Jackie. 4 guys at the top of the game in those statistics.
It's
never happened before in the NFL.
I mean, just think about it. The league's MVP at playing quarterback. The defensive player of the year, Myles Garrett, on the defense. The receiver with the most reception, yards and receptions, Puka Nacua. Then the guy with the most amount of touchdowns in the National Football League, Devontae Adams. And, I mean, that's a star-studded lineup.
Jackie, beyond that, the defensive line for the Rams now is fearsome. And it could be the fearsome foursome, too, I think, right now, as Jackie alluded to, because – there's more than 80% projectile in sacking quarterbacks with those 4 guys. All those guys can sack quarterbacks.
All those guys.
Now you bring Myles Garrett in the mix. What's going to happen to this team?
They all get pressure. The lowest one percentage-wise is 80%. Above that, 82%, and then all the rest of the guys, including Myles Garrett, are 90% and higher relative to quarterback pressures in their own individual play styles.
Yeah.
So this is going to be I'm going to call
Rosie Greer.
Rosie Greer. I just talked with him, text with him yesterday, but I'm going to get on the phone and call him and tell him to make sure that he looks at this defensive line this year because this truly is going to be the fearsome foursome 2.0. There's no doubt in my mind about that. They are going to make quarterbacks uncomfortable here. Myles Garrett is, and this guy's big now. Yeah. He's not the type of guy that's going to be snatching on your jersey and this guy beats linemen and get in the backfield, rolling downhill on a quarterback full speed, putting that 285-pound on. I mean, watch and see how many quarterbacks actually get up after he hits them and continues to play.
Michael, Corey brings up a really good point. See, Myles Garrett came from a team that they were always trailing. They were always playing against opponents that already had a lead. So what were they doing? Running the football a lot.
Right.
And he leads the league in sacks. So now he's going to come to the Rams where they're usually always ahead.
And people are throwing the ball all the time.
That's great.
Going against this team.
Jackie,
what in the world?
That's a formula for disaster right there.
Jackie, let me ask you this, Jackie. Myles Garrett, thanks to Corey Marino's research here, had 13 sacks in weeks 8 to 12 last season. That's an NFL record for a 4-game span.
Right.
Jared Verse has 12 sacks in his career. What do you think of that?
Well, like Vince said, Todd Monken over there, he's building a team. He wants some new young leadership over there. And one of the things about Jared Verse is he's like quite verbal, so he's going to go there and make a lot of noise and perhaps, rally the guys around him. But right now, I think the Rams won in this trade simply because they got a guy that is productive. This guy can beat anybody. I don't care who it is. Now, they have a tendency to line him up over the duck. And you know what the duck is? The duck is the weak is the weak link. And he'll beat that guy like he stole the governor's mule. But the truth of the matter is Myles Garrett is a legitimate, big-time, top-rate pass rusher. I looked at him, and I put him second only to Aaron Donald in this new era that I have evaluated these young pass rushers. He is one of the guys that I don't know, quite frankly, if I would have been able to block him. He is just that good, and it's going to be, for me, so much fun watching him do his thing this year and how he impacts this overall Ram football team and their success.
Vince Ferragamo, I see this. We got about a minute here. Les Snead, the GM of the Rams, talked in February about walking the line between competing sustainability if Matt Stafford came back. What do you think of this addition now? Rams looking pretty darn good, huh?
Well, the whole league, Mike, is involved into a pass-happy league. So the real emphasis now is on pass rushing to pressure the quarterback. That's why you see so much attention, like guys like T.J. Watt, Myles Garrett, that's the highest-paid non-quarterback in the league. They just signed a Pittsburgh Steelers guy who's played minimal minutes to $20 million a year, Jackie, to rush the quarterback as an edge rusher.
And, Vince, we haven't even mentioned Trenton McDuffie.
And Will Anderson. These guys are changing the whole face of the league.
The secondary is going to feast.
Get your thoughts in here. Email us onpoint@crntalk.com. Onpoint, ONPOINT, @crntalk.com. Vince Ferragamo will be back. We're back with On Point Live. Vince Ferragamo, Jackie Slater, every week at this time. Join us. Talk football, talk sports of all kind. Don't forget to check our website out, onpointlive.net. Don't forget to subscribe to our On Point Live YouTube channel, On Point Live with Vince and Jackie. Instagram, on.point.live. Email us, onpoint@crntalk.com, onpoint@crntalk.com. Our sponsor, the great people at harmonycheese.com, Midwest finest, spreading all over the United States. Get your order in. Go to the website, harmonycheese.com. Pick out your cheeses when you check out on your first-time order. Mention CRN Talk. Get 10% off your order. So let me ask you this. Start with you, Vince, on this one. One detail we haven't talked about, and this might have been privately stressed, I don't know, but the Myles Garrett trade may not have happened if they didn't draft Ty Simpson, and everybody was all wound up about that one for their draft pick. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think there's two trains of thought here. One is exercise in financial stability for your team with the salary cap. So you have to kind of structure certain projections along the way with your draft picks. And secondly is sustainability. So, I mean, they're looking down the road, I think, for quarterbacks. Ty Simpson already joins a host of 3 talented quarterbacks on this squad. So, I mean, there's developmental concern there, and hopefully he will project to be the starter in a couple years. But at this point in time, as we mentioned, it's a win-now situation. So they're after guys that can help them win right now, and they don't care, what apple cart they're going to upset. they're going to go after it.
Absolutely.
And they have a lot of guys they have to re-sign, Mike, too. Coming forward. I mean, Puka Nakoa's contract's up.
Yes.
There's a lot of young players that need to be renewed.
2 young offensive linemen.
But they don't have the money to renew these contracts at this point, so everybody's going to have to be on hold.
Yeah, you mentioned, I think it was you, Vince, but Jackie, your thoughts. Myles Garrett on the Rams, a lot of his production last year, 23 sacks last season, came when he was playing on a team that was always trailing here. We got the thought of Garrett on the Rams team that should be playing with leads in it. So the thought is, could Aaron Donald, who retired, in 2023, could he return to the Rams?
Well, I don't know if you recall, but a couple of years ago, before Aaron retired, he said that if the Rams were to acquire Michael Parsons from the Dallas Cowboys in a trade, that he would come out of retirement.
Wow.
And I know this is not Michael Parsons and Myles Garrett, but it's got to be pretty close to the equivalent because Myles Garrett, he is one of the most dominant pure pass rushers that I have seen. He's a good football player. He plays the run well but as a pass rusher, man, he throws it in a different gear. And if I'm Aaron Donald and I wanted somebody else to line up with me and get after the quarterback, and I know they weren't going to be able to consistently turn the protection to me all the time, it would free me up, then this is the guy that I want to play with also, because Myles Garrett has to be accounted for, and on many occasions you can forget getting the back out in patterns because that back is going to have to hug up to that offensive tackle and help with the protection. The other thing, and I mentioned this earlier, is that Myles Garrett, he rushes everywhere. He rushes over the duck. That duck might be the center when you cover both those guards. That duck might be either one of those guards, and the tackle in the center might not be able to help him relative to his alignment. So he's going to find a guy that he can consistently beat, and he's going to beat that guy. And you can't turn the protection to he and Aaron Donald at the same time. Just the thought of those two guys being in the lineup, rushing the passer on 3rd and long, it's just a devastating thought because they both are great pass rushers.
All right, Vince Ferragamo, you played for a few teams. So Aaron Donald's comeback, possible? You think? He's no longer under contract. Obviously, he said he was retired. He could sign with any team, including the Rams, if he wants to come out of retirement.
Well, he would have to sign for the veteran minimum amount coming in, but I don't think money's a big issue with Aaron Donald at this point. I think him coming back maybe to win a second Super Bowl ring, that might be an incentive for him, but to play alongside Myles Garrett and the rest of that group, I mean, he would certainly be a quarterback nightmare.
Yes.
To see him come back to this team. But it just all depends. Maybe it'll get him back on the field and see if he works out, see if he feels right. I would imagine, Jackie, just physical preparation. If I could go out and I could feel good and I could go full speed, I mean, that might encourage me to think about coming back.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm feeling good. If I don't feel that great and it's going to take me too long, then I might say no.
Well, the other thing is I don't think it would take Aaron Donald very long to get in shape.
No, he's in good shape.
To be a special football player because this guy knows how to take care of his body. He's the way he has trained over the years and all of that. Mm-hmm. It might just be a matter of him, wanting to be home with his family. But I wanted to mention this, relative to great pass rushers. And we're on this subject because that's exactly what the Rams have done. They have acquired the superior pass rusher in the National Football League over the last 2 years at least. And when you think about it, Reggie White, a guy that I had the unfortunate time to have to deal with a few times, had 137 sacks the first 9 years of their career. Myles Garrett is second only to Reggie White with 125.5 sacks. That's a lot of hitting the quarterback. That's a lot of pressure on passing games. That's a lot of opportunity to embarrass offensive linemen. And this guy's gotten used to this. So the acquisition of Myles Garrett, I can't say this enough. You don't make deals like this where you give a first, a second, and a third-round pick along with a thriving and growing young pass rusher. You don't make deals like this if you're a general manager. You don't make deals like this if you're a head coach. You make deals like this because ownership tells you to go for it. and gives you the opportunity to improve his team. And that's why I say Stan Kroenke, much like the owner of the New England Patriots, these guys are trailblazers. He's built this $5 million stadium here, $5 billion stadium here. He wants the people in L.A. to be feeling good about their team, and he goes out and get the best players. That's what leadership, that's what Hall of Fame leadership does, Vince.
Mike, if I could just say one thing to close out on this topic about these defensive end. We just saw one of the great defensive linemen walk in the house earlier. It was Freddie Dreyer, and he and Jackie were talking about technical things about pass rushing. And, so much attention goes to the quarterback and the wide receivers as skill positions. But I'm telling you, as a former athlete, that there is so much skill and preparation that goes in defensive end and offensive tackle. And so those kind of players should be considered skill position players
Absolutely.
as well, I think, in my mind.
I always resent that statement when they say the bigs, and then they refer to little guys as skill. How much skill does it take to run as fast as you can? Not a whole lot. But
interesting concept.
It is interesting, Vince. I appreciate that about you.
Let's look around the league a little bit. The Eagles got involved, trading A.J. Brown to the Patriots. Your thoughts on that, Jackie?
Well, Vince and I were talking about this on the way in. I was asking him, who do you think the best wide receivers are in all of pro football right now? And I said, don't you think this Brown kid is a problem? Don't you think he's a little heavy? Don't you think this? Don't you think that? Vince said, wait a minute, Jack. This guy right here is a little bit different. He said, if I had to throw to a wide receiver that was all straight and wasn't a little bit different, I didn't want to throw to him. So everything about Mr. Brown here, Vince likes. He likes he checks all the boxes. He'll go over the middle. He's a big body. He's got great hands. He catches the football at a very high percentage rate when he's being covered man to man, which means he knows how to beat man coverage. He's just a great find. And, one of those guys that I would have a tendency to say, hey, leave him where he is. We don't need to deal with these problems. But the problems only come into existence when people don't know how to manage the eccentric ball players like this guy. And Vince loves the guy.
Vince, he is going to be reunited with his old coach from Tennessee, right?
Mike Vrabel has had him at Tennessee, loved him, and then when they let him go, that's when they eventually let Mike Vrabel go because he just expressed his concern over that move. But I think A.J. Brown brings a lot to the table, Michael, especially on third down. He's a great third down receiver because he puts fear in the defensive back when he's up at the line of scrimmage, because not only can he run a slant and take it to the house and run you over, he can run deep, he can run intermediate, he can run across the middle. He'll find a way to get open. And on third down, you throw in his direction, he's going to catch it.
And he makes Drake May, who's a young quarterback himself, this should be his number one receiving target, don't you think?
For sure, and then they also drafted Romeo Doubs from Green Bay. So they not only have a 1-2 combination at wide receiver, they've got they put what they needed. They took what they were inferior at. They lost Stephon Diggs. They bring these two guys in. It's going to make the quarterback's job a lot easier. And he was good last year. Now watch what he can do.
Brown and Jamar Chase are the only receivers with at least 1,000 yards and 7+ touchdowns in each of the past 4 seasons. That's a pretty good record, Jackie Slater.
Oh, it is. And I always look at wide receivers and say, just throw him the football and let's let him catch it, and then let's see if we can't get him to go in here and block somebody. And so when you look at a lot of the receivers that are playing that position, they aren't all big-bodied guys. There are a lot of little guys like Smith and Jigba up there at Seattle, and I could think of a few other guys.
Makai Lemon, they just drafted
Makai
too.
Lemon. All of these guys aren't capable of doing everything that you need. They aren't complete, in other words. They're one-dimensional. They're either route runners or, to me, blockers. But when you find a guy that is capable of doing both, we'll go in there and dig out a linebacker. We'll run a 15-yard out or a 15-yard curl slant, any post pattern you want to roll for the deep routes. I mean, that's a unique find, and I'm inclined to agree with Vince. If he can do all of that, and he's proven that he can, he's worth every nickel that they paid.
All right, we take a little break here. This show is flying by. It's On Point Live with Vince Ferragamo and Jackie Slater. Check us out on the website, onpointlive.net. Go to our sponsor, harmonycheese.com. Order some great cheese. We'll be back. Fastest hour on radio, fastest podcast around. I'm talking about On Point Live with Vince Ferragamo and Jackie Slater. Once a week, it's a chance to look behind the scenes of what's going on in the world of football and sports with Vince Ferragamo and Jackie Slater and our gang here today. Yours truly, Michael Horn, and our producer, Corey Marino. Now, we want to remind you, on Instagram, find us at on.point.live. But most importantly, go to our website, onpointlive.net. And if you got a comment, for gosh sakes, email us, onpoint@crntalk.com. We give away prizes sometimes, and we get some good comments in. So email us, onpoint, ONPOINT, at CRN, as in Championship Radio Network, crntalk.com. And our sponsor is harmonycheese.com. That's simple. It's the best cheese around. harmonycheese.com, out of the Midwest, out of Wisconsin. The best cheese you can order online. And before you check out, mention CRN, as in Championship Radio Network, CRN Talk. Get 10% off your order. All right, got a little controversy this week, gentlemen, and that's go to the New York Giants on this if we want to. Jackson Dart, the quarterback there, saying some things that might have upset his other teammates, Jackie Slater.
Yes, apparently that is exactly what happened, and he really didn't say anything. He was asked to go and I guess introduce our current president, Donald Trump, and as he accepted that invitation, one of his teammates, an African American gentleman named Abdul Carter, took exception to the actions of his teammate, and the way he expressed this was to come out and say that he would not have gone in. He would not have attended had it been him.
He wouldn't have done it, yeah.
In light of the fact that what kind of person he thought our president is. Now, this is the kind of thing, in my opinion, that is healthy, but also it can be very unhealthy. It also can be very healing. We're living in some turbulent times right now, in my opinion, and opinions vary. Nobody is alike. Nobody has the same thought processes. Everybody comes from different places. And for the quarterback, Mr. Dart, to decide to accept the invitation to introduce our president was his business, and it was his right to do what he wanted to do. And I'm assuming, Vince, that he is honoring the highest ranking official in the free world as he heads up our country, our president, the president of the United States, the guy that we all should be looking to for leadership. Whether we agree with him or not, we should be looking to this guy as a leader of our country, and we should be trying to support him as much as we can. Now, by the same token, Mr. Carter took exception to the fact that Mr. Dart his teammate decided to go and support Donald Trump. Yeah. And he said that he would not do that. He would not have accepted that. Now, the only thing, I can see both people's opinions, Vince, and I don't know how you feel about this. I can see both the opinions. I can see that. But the one thing that I don't want to see is there be a separation between these two men and their common goal. And then the other thing that I did appreciate was an appreciation for each other's position. Mr. Dart appreciated, he appreciated Mr. Carter, and Mr. Carter appreciated Mr. Dart and his right to make his own decision. That's what America is all about.
That's right.
Now,
that's what America is all about.
Let me ask you this, Vince, and Jackie, you can chime in too. But this is off the field. This isn't. This isn't a guy kneeling in the middle of the game when they're delaying the game. This is a guy that wanted to introduce the President of the United States. Nobody can control one person's mind, whether they want to introduce Joe Biden, whether they want to introduce President Trump. It's kind of like you can't control the other person's mind here, Vince.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it's not happening during a game where you're using the platform of the NFL to express your political opinion. This is off camera. This is something of your own belief. I don't really pretty much care what your political beliefs are as a former player, as a teammate, okay? But if I was asked to go to a rally to support President Trump and I was asked to speak, you're damn sure I would go to that thing, and I would be there to support it. So, I mean, I just don't get up in my business. You know what I'm saying, Jackie? It's like, I have my own beliefs. Okay, that's your personal life.
Beliefs.
But as an athlete and as a player, as a teammate, I'm all there to support my teammates. I give them everything I've got. And, you've got guys that are coming in that say they'll die for that quarterback. That's the approach of a good team. And that's how we play. We play for each other, and we put those things to a side. We don't have to be in agreement, Michael.
And that's
but, that's
thing.
the nice thing about sports because it brings people from all different worlds
and that's
to come
the
together.
Beautiful thing about living in a democracy.
Yes.
We're living in a society where individualism is to be expressed, is to be appreciated.
And you have the right of choice.
But never at the expense of the whole.
Yeah.
Of the masses. And so you have your opinion, I have my opinion, we can live with that, and we go on. Mm-hmm. But to tear one another down and to come against one another, that is damaging. And for a football team, to have that kind of stuff, I can tell you after being on 20 different football teams, you let a little small skirmish start between two influential groups on a football team, be they white or black or be they this or that, then you got a problem.
Yeah.
That football team is not going to be successful at all.
I don't know what's going to happen this year, but I have to hand it to a team like the Dodgers. I know for a fact not everybody on the Dodgers is a supporter of President Trump, yet the whole team, for the most part, turned out at the White House to be honored by the office of the President of the United States and have some fun talking to the President. I know
what that office represents.
Yes, and the great Vin Scully was not necessarily an Obama supporter, but when he was honored with the Medal of Honor or whatever they give those awards out, he was there to have that pinned on him by President Barack Obama.
But you know what it is, Michael?
What?
It's respect.
Yes.
It's a term that most people have forgotten in today's world. Respect one another. Respect the driving. If that guy was driving real fast, okay, slow down a little bit. Or maybe he's in a hurry. Maybe he's got to get to the doctor. I don't know. But, just respect one another, and the life would be much easier to live.
And Jackie, it seems like respect is gone from our society.
Yeah.
People can drive as fast as they want. They can cut you off when they want. They can go ahead and get in line in front of you when they want. If
Run
you say
through red
something-
lights, Mike.
Yeah, exactly.
Take off too early.
It's like
nobody respects
time.
the law. Nobody respects things, and that is a major problem. In a football game, you got to respect the other team, or they're going to plow all over you. Am I right?
Absolutely, and you better not just wait until game day to start respecting them. You better start respecting them as soon as you start preparing for that upcoming opponent, because if you don't, you will be torn asunder. As simple as that. And the last thing that I would say about this whole situation is, the proof is going to be in the pudding. Both these guys stood up and they said that they loved one another, they hugged one another, they appreciate
the end result was good.
They appreciate one another's opinion, and they respect one another for doing what they did.
Right.
And they asked for the mutual respect for them to be able to do what they decided to do. Now, what I'm going to be watching for, Vince, and watching for closely, is how well this team performs as the year goes on. Got a new coach, bringing a new system.
John Harbaugh.
The guy's been successful wherever he's been and done it his way and won football games. It's going to be interesting to see how I'm going to track it this season, the success, the production, and what's going to be communicated to us as fans out of the New York Giants football team as this season goes along.
And, Jackie, John Harbaugh's teams in the past have had that attitude of, I've got your back.
I've got your back.
Okay,
Absolutely.
and that's going to be huge, Michael, the way this team performs and plays this year. And you watch, I think that'll come out to the forefront, and they'll be a really good team.
Harbaugh said they addressed the media, noting that while the team had to confront a delicate issue, the conversations they had as a result ultimately made us better. Yeah. And I think that's what you want in good coaching and good management.
Right. And you want to hear that. You know, I appreciate some of the teammates looking at it, the severity of what both comments were, and then concluding that they're going to be a better and stronger team as a result of it.
All right, Russell Wilson retiring here. What's the deal on that, Vince?
Well, he's going to be the 5th highest paid career earner in football, and I think, you know what, here's really a thing is, if you really have a desire to do something and you put your nose to the grindstone, you're going to be successful, Jackie. He went ahead, and they didn't even think he was going to be a professional quarterback. No. He comes in, goes to 2 Super Bowls, wins 1, Mike.
Right.
And I'm telling you what, he did well. I mean, he was very competitive. I really liked Russell Wilson.
Was, and had me
Tough guy.
Sitting on the edge of my seat at the Super Bowl that he threw the ball to Malcolm Butler.
What's going on?
I thought the game
Why
was
would
over.
they throw that?
All they had to do was hand the football off
to the beast.
And the game is over.
Game's over.
Instead, boom, he threw it right to
Tom Brady
Butler.
was shocked.
I was shocked and dismayed as I sit there and watched it. But
Jackie,
he was a great
How about
great
the NBA
player.
playoffs? Jack?
Well, yeah, but Jackie's always sitting on the edge of his seat, so we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about these NBA playoffs and get somebody to take a look to see kind of see what's going on here today. What are your guys' thoughts preliminarily here?
Well, you know, I was sad to see the Thunder lose, to be honest with you. SGA is unbelievable. Was truly the MVP. But we always said Wembanyama is a dominant force. You can't stop him. And it really came to – but I was so impressed with their three-point shooting from everybody else. I mean, Wembanyama's who he is. But the other guys came. It's a team game. They came and they wouldn't miss. SGA, and we couldn't get what's his name to make any points, Jack.
Well, you know, I have never watched a game where when that game was over, every single announcer, broadcaster on every single station, on every single hour, they call one name. Yeah. They call this one guy's name over and over again that he did not make a contribution, and that was Chet Holmgren. I felt so bad for him. Well, I mean, he just disappeared.
That's Wembanyama's presence on defense.
He just totally disappeared. The guy was an integral part of all of this.
You know,
success
it was guarding
a year
him.
ago.
It was Wembanyama was guarding him. That's why he couldn't score.
Well, I mean, Vince, he didn't. I didn't even know it was on the floor. I didn't know he was out there. Where was he until all the announcers? Until Stephen A. Smith said they were going to have to get rid of it.
But I like the way they played, Mike. I just enjoyed watching them. They were so much fun to watch. It was a team game. I'm sad to see them out of the game because I would have loved to see them in the final.
I know. My wife really.
Hey, hand it to the Spurs. They deserve it.
My wife was really pulling for them and all and everything. But I just, you know, I always believe that basketball is a big man's game. And a good big man.
You mentioned that last week. You are into the big man's game of basketball.
Well, I mean, just think about it.
SGA scored 35 points, but you know, it's not one guy. You know, someone else got to step up too.
Wembanyama. I mean, have you ever seen anybody force a guy to take a shot, alter their shots?
He makes everything look so easy.
So many guys are altering their shots because they're afraid that he's going to block the shot.
And on offense, he has 3 points. He can drive the ball. He can dribble. He can dribble around somebody, rebound, he block shots.
He's an unbelievable guy, and that's what I think. That's what the NBA has needed is a good, athletic big man that can take the game over.
I've seen you make a quick move around Vince Ferragamo to get to the refrigerator for that Harmony cheese.
To get to that Harmony cheese.
Nobody faster than that at all times in there. And you don't even you take the whole block of cheese with you. Check it out at our sponsor, HarmonyCheese.com. We're going to take a break, wrap things up here on Point Live with Vince Ferragamo and Jackie Slater. Final segment of On Point Live with Vince Ferragamo and Jackie Slater, brought to you by HarmonyCheese.com. I got to tell you, last week here, I recall no one seemed to want to go with the New York Knicks until I made a great prediction saying I thought that they would beat Cleveland. And Jackie, I finally convinced you to come over, and Corey, reluctantly, I know you came over. That was a very important move there.
Vince didn't come over.
Well, no.
I took the Cavaliers. no, man, I can't believe the way they played.
Corey,
Unfortunately, I like.
They were up by 20 points in game one, and they lost.
Excuse us, Vince. Excuse us. The winners
Go right
would
ahead.
Like this. Us winners would like
Go
this.
right ahead, Jackie.
Corey, will you recount how we thought
Recount.
the series were going to go?
Jackie, you and I thought that the Knicks and the Spurs were going to make to the finals.
The Knicks and the Spurs, you say?
That is 2 for 2 for us.
2 for
Mike thought it was going to be the Knicks and the OKC Thunder.
OKC.
So he only got 1 out of 2.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What
And
about
then
Vince?
Vince thought it was going to be the Cavs and the Thunder, so he went 0 for 2.
He went,
Yeah.
So he's
We
an
got a-
offer.
We got a chance, Vince. We got a chance to turn things around.
Right, okay.
So what do you think, Jackie's going to happen here in the finals?
Yeah.
All right, you got to
I'm
say
gonna go
who
the
wins,
opposite.
who wins, and how many games.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
boy.
I'm
Oh,
going to
boy.
go with the Knickerbockers. And the reason why I'm going with the Knickerbockers is because Karl Anthony Towns is a good big man. A good big man is always better than a good little man. And even though Wembanyama is a big man, he's a little on the thin side. And I like their point guard. In fact, the Knicks, the last time the Knicks were in the championship, won the championship, his father played on the championship team.
Jalen Bronson.
Jalen Brunson's father played
sure
on the
did.
championship team. So I'm going with
Got about a minute here.
I'm
Vince.
going with the Knicks.
Well, you know, they're undefeated in the last month. So
They haven't
the
lost
Knicks
a game,
it's tough to
right?
go against them. But you know what? They're playing with this guy that's so unusual, Wembanyama. There's never been a force like this in the league. If they beat the Thunder, I don't see anyone else beating them. So I'm going to have to go with the Spurs. I mean, they shot 32%.
Corey?
The other team shot 42%. I'm still going to go with the
I'm going with
Spurs.
the Spurs as well. I'm going to have to
Hey.
break off with Jackie.
All right, Corey,
Yeah.
you and I are in
All
agreement.
right, here we go.
What do you think,
All right.
Michael?
I'll
And
stick-
6. I'm going to take it in 6.
You know what, Jackie? I'll go with you. How many games are going in, Jackie?
I think they'll do it in 5.
All right, let's
I'm
go.
going to go in 7.
I'll go 6.
Okay.
All right, there we have it. Got to get a victory in here. That's our show. If you missed anything, log on to our website, on.point.live. Email us, onpointlive.net. Gentlemen, what do we always say here on the show?
What do we say, Jack? Stay on point.